saying hello to. As you maybe can guess by the buildings in the background, if you didn't already guess by the title and everything, we're in Casper, Wyoming today. So time for another live drive. We had some good feedback about the last one. So we got some things to share, some cool stuff to show you, I think. But we're just going to give a few minutes for everybody to have a chance to get logged on. I know between the way notifications work and everything else, and I didn't exactly schedule this a ton ahead of time because we were down in Casper for a reason and a little bit tied up, and I wanted to make sure that we were available when the time came. We'll tell you more about that in a moment as well. But yeah, we're in Casper, Wyoming, which is kind of smack in the center of Wyoming, almost exactly in the center, kind of in the center, top to bottom, little bit east of center, a little, if you're looking at it east to west, got a fly buzzing around here. It's that time, so we got a really cool monument we're sort of parked in the shadow of, almost literally. Oops, getting all crooked there. So we're parked beside a really cool monument that we found while we were driving around looking for a good spot to start this live stream, because neither one of us is super familiar with Casper, so it's kind of like we wanted to at least have an interesting place to start. And we did run into a detour earlier that was quite a challenge. Garmin and Google both did not know how to get us around it, so that was while we were trying to get where we were going. Fortunately, we were early, but anyways, yeah, so we were driving around and we found this really cool monument, which I'm going to get out here in just 1 minute or so and show you, because it's pretty cool. And then I can tell you a little bit about it. We had to look it up, and then we'll do some driving around and show you some of downtown Casper. There's some cool buildings and sites down here. We'll show you some other stuff, and I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But I'm going to go ahead. What do you think? Should we get out and show them the monument?
Sure. Yeah.
She says sure. She's sitting in the air conditioning. I'm getting out in the 93-degree heat here to show you this monument. That's how you're going to get out. That's how motivated we are, guys. That's how serious this is. Okay, let me turn this around here for you. Woo. Okay, there we go. Uh-oh, I did it wrong. There we go. Okay, there's Melanie. There's the car. All right, check out this monument. Is this thing cool or what? I mean, it just goes and goes and goes and goes. Man, I cannot even, pretty much can't even show you the top of it. It's crazy. Let me go back here. Maybe you get a better view. Melanie's over there giving you an idea how small it really is, or how big it is and how small compared to a person or a Prius. So hopefully y'all are finding this monument as interesting as we did. You can see Melanie's a teeny tiny dot underneath of it now. The Prius, we could obviously park underneath of it. So this thing's pretty massive. we're right next to these buildings here called Center Point Apartments. So I don't know if that was once upon a time what this thing was called or what. It's I guess it's officially known as the Wells Fargo Tower, because this is a Wells Fargo bank over here. It was built in 1968 by a different bank, and this was the top, had a temperature and time display on it, way up there. And I guess you probably can see that for quite a distance. It's been to a couple banks since then. It looks like they're doing work on it now. Casper Building Systems has a trailer parked under it. Here's one of the things interesting about this thing. It's also known as Egg Beater Tower. And I'm going to try not to get sick and dizzy when I do this, but you all tell me if you can figure out why it's called Egg Beater Tower. Yep, I'm getting dizzy already. Anyway, there's Egg Beater Tower in downtown Casper, Wyoming. So we just saw that as we were looking around for a good place to start the live stream, and said, heck, that's going to be as good a place as any. So we're going to hop back in the car here, because as I said, it's 93 degrees outside on this gorgeous, warm, sunny afternoon in Casper, Wyoming. Ugh. Whew. Oh yeah, that's better. Air conditioning. Oh, she's going to buckle me in because she doesn't trust me, I think. And the Prius just restarted, so we're trying to keep the AC on low to, manage the noise and all. So, but we do need some AC. So let's see. If I forgot, the height of that thing. That's what I couldn't remember when I was walking around. 177 feet tall. in downtown Casper. And it was designed by Casper architect Harold Engstrom and built in 1968. So kind of fun. And it was interesting to see that. Let's see if I can find if we have any comments here. If anybody's chatting. I'm not seeing any comments yet. So go ahead and chat. Yeah, if you are on here, hopefully. So I'm not seeing anything yet. So nobody's talking to us. Okay, I don't want to miss it if you are, but I've been walking around talking, so I may have missed it. So, all right, what do you think? We're going to go cruise around a little bit, show you some of downtown Casper. I'll turn the camera back around so you can see, and I'll try to pay attention in case you're leaving any comments. Hopefully I'm not just missing them all if anybody's been trying to chat so far. Whew, okay, here we go. We're going to get out of here, and we sound like a dump truck backing up. This really cracks me up. I've driven dump trucks. This is not one. This is a Toyota Prius. And lovely Melanie driving us around in her Prius, but it does, when you put it in reverse, it beeps in, not outside, it beeps inside to let you know that you're backing up, I guess. But it kind of cracks me up because it sounds like a dump truck inside, at least. So going through the Wells Fargo buildings here, I guess. That's definitely Wells Fargo here, and that's the Wells Fargo Tower. I'm not sure what this one is. It's actually got an M on the corner of it. But, so anyways, like I started saying earlier, Casper is a city in the Natrona County, Wyoming. It's kind of just about in the center of Wyoming, and it's the second largest city in the state of Wyoming. It's like 59,000 people, as opposed to Gillette, which has like 31,000. Sheridan, I think we were in not long ago, that has 16 or 18, so that's really small. So Cheyenne, the capital down on the Colorado border, is the only city in Wyoming that's larger than Casper. So we're just cruising. We don't have a specific place route in mind here. So we're crossing over Center Street, which is kind of a main drag through town here. Okay, Melanie said she's turning around. Is that what you're saying? She's turning around? All right, we're turning around. We're going down an alley here.
We're going down, yeah.
So Casper is also known as the oil city. Probably will not surprise anyone that with Gillette being the energy capital of the nation, we were there on our last live drive. That here in Casper, which is only a couple hours from Gillette, that it's the oil city, and it's oil's a big thing here and has been for, well, pretty much always, I guess. But Casper has a long history of oil boomtown and cowboy culture, cowgirl culture too, I'm sure. So we don't want to leave anybody out here. But the big founding thing here, economically at least, was the discovery of oil on the Salt Creek oil field, which is just north of Casper.
Now we're on Center Street. Center Street.
Okay, we're back on Center Street, Melanie's saying. So this is kind of a main drag through town, so we'll get to see some of downtown. So, there's a statue of a cowboy on a horse over here. That's really cool. Yeah. And statues of a saddle over here. Yeah, okay. So we're exploring this with you all. We've never been here either, so, we're all kind of learning, exploring together. It's an old theater over here on the other side. This is a Masonic Lodge building here on this corner. But the America Theater. Oh, cool motorcycles went by too. You like that motorcycle, Melanie?
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
All right. So anyways, we appreciate everybody's joining today, logging in to follow along with us, your favorite Yankees in the Cowboy state. So here we go down Center Street in Casper, Wyoming, which again is in the center of the state, second largest city in Wyoming, but it's been around since the 1800s. So we're hoping to find some cool buildings and whatnot here. We have never been down here in downtown. I've only been to Casper a few times, mostly going through. Another theater on this corner. Wow.
Rialto.
Or Rialto Movie Palace. That looks like that's been there a while too. Oh, look at this, a soda fountain, and that in the neon there. Wow, luxury recliners where the crawdads sing, and yeah, that's cool.
Look at this cool car on the corner. That's
Oh, Melanie's lusting over this car over here. Whoops, sorry, just whacked the mic on the windshield.
Studebaker.
Oh, a Studebaker. How cool is that? All right. So we're anyway, we're gonna cruise around downtown Casper a bit, check out the historic downtown. Then we'll see if we can find some other things. Another old building there, Trippanese or something. Steamboat Deli Outlet. Boy, well, this is kind of fun. I always find these old western downtowns interesting. A bunch of banks here. A book exchange for the readers out there amongst my viewers. Magic City Stoves. And Magic City is actually up in Billings, Montana. So I'm not sure. This must be like a expansion or something, I guess. I don't know. Kind of a cool tower down there on the right past the lights. But we're going to take a left here at this funky intersection.
Down there?
No. That's all right. We're going to take a left at this funky intersection, and if we can figure that out. Another, looks like a Elks Lodge down there. So yeah, Casper's been around long enough to have some history anyway. It was actually established east of the former site of Fort Caspar, which we might get to drive by later if we can find it again, which was built during the mid-19th century with all the people coming west along the Oregon, California, and Mormon trails, which you may be familiar with some of those. But what is now Casper, this area sits on the North Platte River, and it was the site location of several ferries that offered passage across the North Platte in the early 1840s. And then by 1859, or in 1859, I guess, a fellow by the name of Louis Guinard built a bridge and trading post near the original ferry location. So an enterprising guy, and that was kind of the beginning of Casper, I guess you might say in some ways. Not long after that, the government, I believe it was the Army, set up a military garrison to protect telegraph and mail service in the area of what would become Casper. That was under the command of Lieutenant Colonel William O. Collins. The reason that's significant is that his son was a Lieutenant Caspar Collins, that's spelled C-A-S-P-A-R, and in July of 1865, Lieutenant Caspar Collins was killed near the post in a conflict with local Indian tribes. And several months later, they renamed the fort as Fort Caspar in honor of Lieutenant Caspar Collins, who died in a battle there. So that's where the name came from. It's spelled slightly different than the way it's spelled today, which is C-A-S-P-E-R. Well, the town itself, Casper itself, was settled in 1887, so like 20 years after that. And a year later it was incorporated. But that was after the fort had actually been closed and moved. Funny story, though, about Casper and its name. It was named, like I said, that's why I pointed out the spelling of Caspar, C-A-S-P-A-R, the lieutenant, versus Casper, C-A-S-P-E-R, the way we all know it spelled today. I'm trying not to film the dashboard, but it's kind of a small rake on the window here, so I don't have much to work with. But anyways, when they incorporated the town, let's see if I can find it on my right note here so I can tell you it right. Here we go. When the name of the town was officially registered, is the way I came across it being described. A typo occurred or was made, a typographical error, and it was spelled C-A-S-P-E-R, like Casper the Friendly Ghost, we'd say these days, rather than Caspar, as in Lieutenant Caspar Collins. This is kind of a cool downtown here, too. Talbot Ranch Outfit, Lou Talbot Ranch Outfit. I think they're up in Montana, too. I really don't remember seeing them up there. This is a cool downtown area. Don't mind us. We're stopping at green lights, probably ticking off all the locals, but we do not have Wyoming license plates on here. I won't tell you where they're from, but they ain't from Wyoming, so they're probably just cussing out these tourists. In a Prius, no less, in Montana. But, guys, get this. we've been averaging, when we driving this car around with a mix of city and open road, we're averaging 46 to 48 miles a gallon. The dashboard here, I'll show you 44.9. That's a long time. Melanie doesn't know the last time she reset that thing.
Yeah.
So, but we did a trip the other day, up what do we go up to Montana, I think? And our mileage for the tank on open road, we hit 50.2 miles per gallon. 50.2. I mean, not 15 like I might get in the van. Well, usually around 18 in the van, but it has happened. Another theater. Look at this. Wow. I usually think it's cool if I see one historic theater in a town, and that's at least 3 we've seen here. So that's really neat. And Melanie will join us in conversation occasionally. She's able. Some cool fountains over here. She's stuck, navigating and driving around a town that neither of us knows. So safety first. She'll join us as she's able. That's a really cool little fountain there. I should send the coordinates to my daughter. Oh, fresh lemonades for enterprising young children here. See, who says the next generation is a lost cause? Who said? Some of them are hard workers anyway. This is an old Chevrolet dealership. Now it's called the Nolan, according to the sign on top. Oh, Blacktooth Brewing Company. Those of you who like beer, they're a really good microbrewery. Melanie does not like beer, so we won't be stopping probably. But oh, look at this old Toyota body shop out here too. This is really, really cool. This old brick building. There's some cool buildings here in Casper. Now I know, guys, I'm usually more of a out in the middle of nowhere, boondocks kind of a person. I'll show you that building again. But if I'm out in the boondocks in the middle of nowhere where I like to hang out, I'm lucky to have phone service, and we're not going to have enough phone service to do a live stream video. So I got to come into a town to do live stream videos. Okay, I see a couple comments here. Let me see if I can read these. Living second childhood, greetings from South Louisiana. I'm sure you don't want to hear me complaining about it being hot here if you're from South Louisiana, because we're at 93, but at least it's a dry heat, right? And the weird thing is usually it's windy here, and there's like no wind today, so that's like you actually feel it, but it's not bad if you stay out of the sun. Rich is saying, wow, great story about Caspar, and are there modern medical facilities in Caspar? I've been thinking about moving there. Right on. I haven't seen kids selling lemonade in 15 years. Oops. And I probably just realized I'm showing you the dashboard while I'm trying to read. Sorry about that, guys. There are actually some modern medical facilities in Casper. It's not Denver or Salt Lake large, but if you're in Gillette, for example, which is a smaller city, there are specialists in Casper. I think I am not positive because Cheyenne's bigger, but my understanding is that Casper might have the largest hospital in Wyoming. So they do have some specialists here and stuff. And if you are in Casper and they can't get the care you need here, you're probably about 3 hours from Denver, and they're huge. They have everything there, and that would be part of the whole insurance deal. Denver is the regional hospital for anything bigger you need, but I would be reasonably confident outside of something really major you probably would be okay in Casper. Gillette's a little more iffy, but Casper, I do know they have some specialists here. And the other thing they do here in Wyoming, and Montana does the same thing in some of the smaller cities, is they'll have specialists come in from other bigger cities, or sometimes smaller cities as it happens, but they'll have specialists will come in every month or two, or every week or every month, whatever the case may be, however often they're needed. So you can actually get access healthcare that way and see people locally in your town without having to necessarily drive several hours, which can be convenient. That being said, anybody who lives in Wyoming, you kind of get used to driving a couple hours to everything. So it's the least populated state in the country, but it's quite large geographically, so everything's kind of spread out a bit. So there's a really nice park on the side here. I think that's why Melanie went around this block again to show us.
Well, the tower's over here too.
There's a tower over here. She's trying to. Oh, this is the tower. Okay.
Sorry.
We got the Elks Lot building over here, and on this side we have this cool tower. This is the one I was pointing out in the distance. Oh, that's a church building, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, someone have a church building. I can't read the signs or anything yet, and we're parked at a not a stop sign again. So, if you hear horns, guys, it's probably just
St.
you know,
Anthony's.
St. Anthony of Padua Catholic Church.
Padua.
Padua? Melanie says I have a terrible accent. I've been gone from New England too long. I don't talk right anymore. So let's see. I'm just missing some comments here.
Ooh, the cheese.
Let's see. Hey, hello. Says pretty sky there today. It is. I was just thinking a moment ago that we actually have a nice sky. If doing photos or video, you come to appreciate some clouds because it makes it a lot more interesting than the clear blue skies that are great, but they're kind of, you know, not so interesting from a video or photo perspective. Richard Ross is saying Casper has the best international airport in America. I'll be have to check that out because I have never flown anywhere in this area. I feel like I flew out of Billings once many years ago. I lived in Montana at the time, so I haven't actually flown around here. Oh, hey, one more thing about Casper that's kind of interesting. It was founded by developers who, as an anticipated stopping point during the expansion of the Wyoming Central Railway. Again, this is back in the 1880s, which is, I don't know, it's always interesting to see how much things have changed, right? Now we have major interstates and we're talking about international airports, but at the time they were hoping the train would come through here. But anyway, that was part of the reason for it being founded. Well, the presence of a railhead made Casper the starting off point for what is known as, or the folks who are known as the invaders in the Johnson County War. Johnson County is the next county north of here. We're in Natrona County. I say that. I think Johnson County is the next county north. It's up by Buffalo, just north of here. And back again in the 1800s, you had the Johnson County War. And we're going to be doing a video about that real soon. And that's on our list. We're working on it now. So we've started on it. We'll be continuing. So that's kind of interesting. So anyways, is a starting off point because the men were on a chartered train from Texas, and that train stopped in Casper, and that's the connection here. So anyway, we're going to be doing a video about that soon, the Johnson County War and the invaders from Texas. So stay tuned for that. I think that's kind of some of the highlights I had about Casper. Let's see, I'll get some more comments coming in, which is good because I'm running out of notes there. So hopefully y'all are enjoying seeing around here. It is kind of interesting. And we thought the whole idea with these live drive videos is that it might be interesting to, as we're going to different places, to share some of those scenes and to basically be able to show people in real time some of these different cities and stuff around wherever we happen to be, but namely we're mostly in the western U.S. But this interesting sometimes seeing the different architecture and stuff in different locations. So the Casper Star Tribune, I always look out and make a note of where the newspapers are when I'm traveling, because I worked in the news business for quite a while, in the newspaper business, and so there's the Casper Star Tribune. So anyway, hopefully everybody's enjoying and getting to see around some of these places. Timeless Freedom, awesome. I moved to Casper in 1950. Oops, I'm trying to keep this thing not looking at the dashboard. Left in 64, moved back in the 70s for a couple of years. Thanks, Robert. This tour is reminding me of lots of personal history. Yeah, even though I've been in Wyoming for 8 years, I have spent very little time in Casper. I've passed through a few times, like while I'm traveling across the state. And I was down here. I came down to the airport here, actually, to a flight school there to do my drone license test last fall. But other than that, I haven't been down to Casper much. So this is really interesting for us. Or I'm speaking for Melanie here. I shouldn't be. It's interesting for me. What do you think, Melanie? Interesting seeing it?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the North Platte River.
Oh, we're going over the North Platte River. I picked the wrong time to show you Melanie. That or she's just trying to distract us and get me to stop pointing the camera at her, which could also be the case. But as my first time here, so it's really interesting seeing some of this stuff. Now, we were down here a few weeks ago for reasons I don't remember. I think we were just taking a ride, and we spotted this thing here but it was after dark, and we were coming to the other street, and we saw it out the side window. We're like, what on earth is that? And it appears to be, maybe somebody watched this knows for sure, but it appears to be old oil equipment. So I'm guessing either a drilling rig or like a pump from the old days. Hopefully we'll get you a good enough view. Somebody may recognize it. I'm guessing it's like a drilling rig, but it's fenced off, and it's out here on a display right on the edge of the North Platte River. So it's kind of cool anyway. There's not really anywhere to park to get you a good view or to see. I do not. Oh, there is a little plaque out there. Okay. I take it back. I did not see the little plaque out there before. So that probably tells us what it's about, but there's a couple little plaques. But yeah, there's nowhere to park. So that's the problem there. I think we have some other comments here. So let's see. Michael saying, waving a hand hello from a very wet North Georgia. And Rich said, beautiful old masonry brick buildings. Now there's some, I'm actually impressed, Rich, with some of those buildings and how many there are that are really in good condition, those old brick buildings. A lot of times when I see these older downtowns, they're kind of like falling apart, but it seems like a lot of work's been done to keep that looking up. So we're pulling into a little park here that looks kind of cool on the North Platte. Let's see, this is Amico Park, part of the River Trails Network. Any of you who have been to Casper before might know about this. Home of the Bart Learning Circle, something like that.
Yeah, Learning
Okay.
Center.
Yeah, okay.
Learning Circle, yes.
Somebody's asking, any trees there? Well, here we go. There are actually some trees here. It's mostly prairie. So around here is mostly prairie. You're not going to find a lot of trees. I was just laughing with my daughter earlier. A trip we made east to the Northeast several years ago, and my oldest granddaughter was in the back seat. She woke up in Indiana and exclaimed, "Mom, look at all the trees!" Because she was living in the Northeast Wyoming, was not too used to trees. So the area is by and large going to be prairie, but there are, especially anytime you're along a river like this, you get the cottonwood trees, which are quite magnificent. I'll show you some of them here. It's a lot of tree cover. You'll find them around lakes or reservoirs, anywhere there's water. Basically, they're thirsty trees. This is a nice little park here, though.
They're kayaking down there on the rapids.
Let's see. Timeless Freedom. Is Fort Casper still there? We actually drove by that earlier, which I would not have known about it. I've seen signs for it, but I did some very quick research earlier just to know a little bit about Casper here, and that came up. And apparently it is still there. We saw some old buildings. Whether we can find our way back there, I am not so sure. But we'll give you a view of the park and the river here. This is quite lovely. If we weren't concerned about audio issues, it'd probably be a great place to get out and walk around for a bit and show you around. But between wind and river noise and vehicles and possibly people with stereos and things like that, it caused copyright problems on YouTube. I don't quite dare to do that. But still, we did see Fort Casper. It's still there, and it looks like there's some really cool old buildings there. And if we can find it again, we'll stop by while we're doing this live drive. And I got to try and stop stuck showing you guys pictures of the dashboard while I'm reading comments. Trying to get the camera out of the way so Melanie can see here. We're pulling back onto the street. Let's see. Sandy Sue, 9, watching from southwestern Illinois, enjoying the drive. You're a good tour guide. Thank you, Sandy Sue. I had a little trouble reading that because I have the camera so close to my face, trying to get it out of the way so Melanie can see to pull out, because we're trying to
Left or right?
pull out
I
here.
can't remember
I think left, yeah, I guess. She's asking me left or right, and I'm not paying attention. I'm too busy talking to y'all. So hopefully we're going to try and find a few more interesting things here to show y'all. But again, neither one of us really knows anything about Casper in terms of having spent any time here. So it's possible that we may mess this up and not find where we're trying to find. Horse trailer, because it's, Wyoming. That's a big thing. You always see horse trailers around. Well, we've been in, the reason we're in Casper today, I think I mentioned this earlier that we were here for a reason and didn't get into it. My daughter and my two oldest granddaughters were, they have German short hair pointers, and they were all competing in a dog show here in Casper today. It's an American Kennel Club sanctioned dog show. Yesterday, my oldest granddaughter was actually competing in a dog show with 4-H up in Campbell County, and so then today they're competing down here, all three of them. So we came down to watch them, which was great fun. We really have no idea what all that stuff's about. Neither one of us, I think. I've never been to a dog show before. Have you?
No,
Yesterday was our first for both of us, so we don't know anything about it, but we had fun, and we're kind of like outside of downtown now and along the river, and this is like newer development out here, it looks like. Well, this doesn't look newer.
Looks like an old train.
This is not new, but the other side of the street's new. We're coming to the Mills, population 4,000, so we're just outside of Casper proper, apparently.
It's a bentonite.
End First Street, begin Yellowstone Street. Whoops, I just showed you the A-post. I'm not sure what this is about, this building over here. We noticed it a few minutes ago on the way in. It's labeled with a big sign that says Pepper Tank. So I don't know what that's about. They have another sign out there that says Pepper Tank too. I don't know what that's about. If anybody does, I guess let us know, because I know some of you have some familiarity with Casper. So let's see. Timeless Freedom. Can you take a shot of Casper Mountain? You know, I heard something about Casper Mountain, but I'm not sure where it is. I don't know. Let's see. Whoops. Is this Casper Mountain out there, maybe? I see a mountain over here. Melanie's trying to find it for us. So maybe this is Casper Mountain. I don't know. There's a small mountain here. We're heading south. So is that a little bit? We're heading towards the southeast, and there's a mountain in front of us. So here, let me show you the GPS. We got it stuck onto the radio thing because we don't use the radio thing in this car, and there's like on the windshield, there's like nowhere to put the GPS. It's not seriously in the way, so Melanie hit up on this. It's normally in the van, but we brought it along for the occasion, just because we didn't know where we were going really. So I don't know if we're pointing in the right direction or not. There is like a long line of hills, I guess I would call it, over here towards the south, basically. I think the
First Street.
fort's over here somewhere.
This is First Street.
We're on First Street.
We're on First
We're
Street.
going to turn on Wyoming Boulevard shortly. So, if that helps anybody that's watching this. Oh, there we go. Yes, I just glimpsed Casper Mountain. All right, good deal. You did it, Melanie. You found it. I didn't even think about that. There was a mountain here we should show people. And I did come across that reference, several times while I was looking up Casper. Part of the problem is we did not know we were coming down here today until yesterday afternoon, when my granddaughter's like, "Pops, are you coming to my dog show tomorrow?" I'm like, "Well, where is it?" "Oh, it's in Casper." And I'm like, "Okay, well, that's 2.5 hours or more, And her mom's like, "That's a long drive for a 3-minute ordeal." To which my granddaughter replies, "Not for him." I'm still not sure if the "not for him" means I drive a lot, so that's not a big deal, or if it means she knows she's got me wrapped around her little finger and I'll drive a couple hours to see her do a 3-minute performance. Oh, we wanted to show you this. Good. You did find it, Melanie. Look at this little park and this massive eagle sculpture. This is just the coolest thing. And we kind of stumbled across this earlier, and we're like, "What on earth is this?" And there's actually a little park here, a little wishing well, some benches. Looks like there's some names of some companies that maybe helped donate to make this all possible, but that's quite a sculpture. I don't know if there's there's maybe some signage. I don't know. I don't see anything obvious about what this is. We should have done research this, I guess, too, in addition to the Wells Fargo sculpture. But yeah, that's kind of cool anyway. And it's just on the corner of First Street and Wyoming Boulevard, if anybody wants to look it up. So Rich is saying magnificent eagle. And it's welcome City of Mills, established 1931. That sign is saying. And there's another view of the eagle. So it's pretty neat. That's a pretty cool little welcome park anyway.
Well, the town of Mills is just right there.
Yeah, and there's the town of Mills right there if you go in.
City lines, I guess.
I think if you take a left here and go over the river, we'll come to the fort.
Yeah.
But we're gonna try and okay. Melanie's got it figured out. She doesn't need my assistance. We're gonna go try and find Fort Caspar. See if we can get in trouble filming going in there or something. I have no idea how far we're gonna get.
North Platte River again.
Oh, the North Platte River again. Okay, there we go. People rafting down it, and
rafting.
amazingly, it's on this side of the road too. Yep, that's funny how that works. But anyways, there's the North Platte. People tubing it or rafting it or something up there, which is kind of cool. And right on just on the banks of the river here is the historic Fort Caspar, and the Fort Caspar Museum is here. And it's a National Historic Place apparently. There we go. I can't see too well because of glare, but hopefully you all can see anyways. So, and this is along the Sand Creek Massacre Trail. This is the fort anyway. And this is the one that got its name was changed to this Fort Caspar Park on the corner there too. But so this is the one that's name was changed. Look at that old wagon. That is just neat. Please keep off, it says. And then there's an interesting stairway going up this little hill here. And then the fort's in front of us. There's some site of Fort Caspar, U.S. military point on the Oregon post on U.S. military post on the Oregon Trail. Says that sign there. Now they got an eagle too, and a wagon train and oxen up there, silhouette and sculpture. And then there's some cool buildings up here in front of us. Some very old buildings. I'm guessing date back to the fort era. One over there too. In the distance.
They allow you to do not enter private
That's a
residence.
private residence. We can't go down there, it says. The cemetery on this side. So, yeah. I guess that looks pretty old. I can't read anything from here, but it definitely looks pretty old. And then over here more, there's again some really old. I'm guessing this is the old fort over here. There's some really old buildings, and they got the flag flying and everything. Old wagon over there. I don't know how close we can get driving around. Yeah, we'll see here, I guess. Okay, this is the Fort Caspar Museum, spelled the old original way, not the mistaken way with an E. And that's kind of I get a little bit of a kick out of it. It's probably unfortunate for, like, you know, the family of the guy who they named it after, and then the spelling got messed up. But I've come across this several times out in the West, in particular here. Devil's Tower was a mistaken naming. It was not supposed to be Devil's Tower. The guy that was doing the interpretation for the explorers misunderstood the native name and called it Devil's Tower, and that wasn't really what it was supposed to be called. And then when they registered the name there for the for the National Monument or the Post Office, I'm not sure now, they omitted the apostrophe, because it should have been DEVIL apostrophe S Tower, and it was not. They didn't put the apostrophe in it, so it stuck. I've heard of another place like that too. And then like Quartzsite, Arizona, that town is spelled wrong because somebody made a mistake when they were registering the town name many years ago as well, and it just stuck. So kind of funny, some of these. So let's see here. Got some more comments. Boy. Okay, living second child. Hey everybody, don't forget to hit that like button. Yes, please. I appreciate that. That does help and make a difference. Let's see here. Leslie's saying, my lovely late son had a German short-haired pointer. Buddy was only 5 months old when my son passed. My dad also owned the same breed. They are just such beautifully natured dogs. Leslie, I'm sorry to hear about your son. My heart goes out to you with that. My daughter has, she got one several years ago. Well, about 8 years ago now. And then a second one a few years ago, and then they got the third one just recently as a pup. She's got them all as puppies, and they all have professional training, and they're quite interesting dogs. Very very intelligent, very energetic, very intelligent, very friendly animals. And it was interesting seeing even the little ones be able to take them out and work with them on the during the competitions today at the dog show. Oh, let me show you real quick. We're going by the fort again here, another part of the fort. Some lovely wildflowers and everything. And say someone has commented about the let's see, Timeless Freedom, hiked all over that mountain as a kid. Rich is saying the magnificent eagle. Leslie said what a stunning sculpture. Living second childhood. Per Wikipedia, Fort Casper has been rebuilt and is open for visitors. So here it is. That is good. We're not going to try and get in today, but it looks like in good condition and everything. That would be, maybe we can come down and tour that sometime and actually see it. I'm sure that will be interesting. So let me know in the comments if you'd be interested in seeing more. If we can, I can look into any rules around that and see what we can do when it's not 93 maybe. Those are some cool buildings though, and I can believe it's been restored and everything, because it's the old stake fence. That's neat. Lots of informational signs around here. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Another park over here, Centennial Park. It's apparently from 1990. I'm going to crank my window up again because let the AC do its thing, because it's a little bit warm. Okay, no, Casper Mountain is almost 8,000 feet, 7,963. No kidding. I would not have guessed that. So now here I'm calling them little hills. Okay, Rich is saying the fort cabin probably used up most of the trees in the area. You might be onto something there. That was the end of the fort. We can't build anymore. No more fencing. We're out of trees. Oh man, yeah, that's there's you can see it's a lot of open here. There are some trees in the distance where the river runs through again down there, and there's we got a few trees here, but generally speaking, it's going to be where you see a lot of trees around this part of this area is going to be along the rivers and reservoirs or whatever. So we're heading back out of there. So let's see. I don't know. We had something else. Oh, you had another plot you thought was cool. We might check out. Okay, we'll see what else we can find for a little bit. And this has been interesting looking around here at Casper. So we're making our way back out of the fort area. I guess the fort itself again is right over here. We're just a few miles we're on the edge of the North Platte River, which is just right there, just beyond the fort. So there's the North Platte. The other side of that appears to be Mills, Wyoming, which is a small town just over that way, and then just over that way is the city of Casper. Hopefully I'm giving you the right directions there, but that's probably close anyway. Okay, we'll get another look at this wagon, which is pretty cool. And this looks to be some kind of monument up here on the hill where those stairs are. The stairs are quite old for sure. So. And of course, this cool old wagon here that they warn you not to climb on. What on earth? That I'm thinking that must have been for artillery or something. That looks like a military. Yeah, that's interesting. What do you guys think about that, huh? I've never seen a wagon quite like that. So that is interesting. You have the traffic. Oh, you got a red light. Okay. You're sitting through a green light again. My co-pilot here is sitting through a green light. Now we have cars behind us, and
There was no one behind us.
okay, she says there was nobody behind us when she was sitting through it. Okay, we'll go with that. A big old rig.
Nebraska.
There is a campground down there, so maybe they're heading down there to stay at the campground by Fort Casper. Oh, Curtis. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome. Hold on, Melanie's waving at you, Curtis. And timeless freedoms in Casper elevations 5118. So that's almost 3,000 feet higher from the mountain. That is interesting. I would not have guessed it for being quite that high. So, ugh.
Oh, sorry.
So I think that's it over there, I guess. So, God, that is interesting. See, this is handy. You guys can look stuff up for me while I'm traveling and doing a live stream and unable to look it up. Some geese over here. We've been learning a little more about geese and red-winged blackbirds because they were kind of stupefying us with some of their behavior and conduct. So we had to start learning a little more about it. This is the Patterson-Zonta Park, right on the North Platte River again. And there's the geese. Oh, and a gull, of course. They seem to be ubiquitous. Anywhere there's water and food. So this is, yeah. I'm impressed with how many parks Casper has. I
Dog
did.
going swimming over
Oh,
there.
somebody, yeah, a little dog going swimming over there. Be around a little more here. So, but yeah, I'm impressed with the number of parks in the city. I did not expect that. Okay, we're getting the dump truck mode reactivated here.
This is a funny little parking spot they have.
It is, for sure. We're gonna try and get out of the funny little parking spot.
And go over the curbing.
I'm trying to keep the camera out of Melanie's view while she's trying to pull out of a funny little parking spot. Now, see, this is a Prius. We're running on electric right now. Then now we kick back into gas. Okay. And some more people rafting in the North Platte or canoeing or whatever they're doing out there. Some kind of recreational boating in the North Platte River. Oh, Leslie's saying, it might be last year's calendar now, but I'm still loving your calendar in my van, Robert. Similar lovely countryside. Lots been happening here in New Zealand. Not seen your videos for a while. Great to catch up. Well, I'm glad you were able to join today, Leslie. And I'm glad you're enjoying the calendar still, too. They were definitely planning to put one together again this year. I've been planning ahead and setting aside photos that might be my favorites from the year. So we'll see what we can do with that. And that is fun, having a calendar all the way over there in New Zealand. The cute little short Class A. Alante, Jayco model. What do we got here? Oh, well, I didn't know what that was. Some kind of sign. I don't know. I missed it. But
You let me know you want me to stop.
there's a truck that can't decide what color it wants to be. White or yellow? Three Crowns Pathway and a ball field. So a fair amount of green space so far for what we've been seeing. There is a big reservoir not too far from here too, Alcova. We were up there a couple weeks ago checking it out, and we got some footage from up there that we may be sharing in an upcoming video. And there's Casper was also in the news recently because BLM just worked out a purchase agreement with, I say just, sometime this summer, earlier this summer, worked out a purchase agreement with a family, and there had been a mix of family-owned ranch land and BLM land along the North Platte, east of Alcova. And even though there's a lot of BLM public land access out there, a lot of it was not accessible because of, there just wasn't access to it. So the family worked out a deal where they sold the land to, well, it was one of these complicated ones. BLM ended up with it. I think there was another conservancy organization in the middle or something, but BLM ended up with the land, very large tract. I think it was You remember, Melanie, was it 30 or 40,000 acres or something like that?
I don't
It was quite
remember.
substantial. And so anyways, that's right outside of Casper. And it's supposed to provide more recreation opportunities and more fishing opportunities and stuff. There's our tower over there in the distance. I don't know if you can really see it with a wide angle here. But kind of right over there is that 177-foot egg beater tower, or Wells Fargo tower. So I guess we're coming back towards downtown here from a different direction. That's interesting. Do you know you're doing that, or are you just making it up as you go?
I'm just kind of making it up. Well, I have a vague sense, but
All right.
not a very.
She has a vague sense. She is
Vague
not
sense.
using the GPS. She's just winging it
No,
with her vague sense and
I haven't.
seeing where she can land us. All right. Well, let's look a quick tour again of downtown, and then we'll sign this thing off, I guess.
All right.
We got to get back to Gillette, hopefully before all the deer and the antelope come out to play. Because last time we were down this way, it was well after dark when we got home, and it was nerve-wracking. There's so many deer on that county highway we had to take that it was, and there always are. It's pretty crazy. So. Okay, Leslie's saying it's been just so terribly sad seeing the fires and flooding there in the parks. I do hope there are no more tragedies such as this. Toyota lover here, so good to see the Prius. Yeah, it really has been crazy with fires and floods again. So hopefully, yeah, that settles down. Boy, it's been the last few years been so much craziness, but and that flooding in Yellowstone, that was insane. And we were just that same weekend, we were just a couple hours away from there in the Bighorns, maybe at most 2 hours away, and the rivers were high, but they were not flooded like they did in Yellowstone. So pretty freaky. And yeah, I'm kind of a big Toyota fan too, Leslie. I've had several over the years, and I always say that if Toyota made a full-size van, that's what I'd have instead of a Ford. But no offense to the Ford, it's been a good van. But yeah, I'm a big Toyota fan myself. One of my sons is too. I got one son that he and his wife both drive Toyotas. They're serious Toyota fans as well. Oh, yeah, Timeless Fruit is venturing Hell's Half Acre. It's close by, awesome history, very interesting landscape. I happened upon that place once just going by, but I don't know anything about it. So we'll have to look that up and see if we can get over there. That is a very interesting place, at least as far as the geography. So I'll have to look up the history and the story about it and see what we can do with that, because that would be interesting too. I will make a note about that just as soon as we get done. Melanie, can you help remind me?
All right.
Hell's Half Acre?
Okay.
All right, okay. Oh, you'll appreciate this. Speaking of Hell's Half Acre, it was in the news not too long ago. Someone had to get rescued off of Independence Rock. I'm sitting there scratching my head going, I've been to Independence Rock, which is out in the middle of nowhere outside of Casper, for those of you who don't know. But there's a rest area there, and it's just a big rock, and it was known as a landmark for Native Americans and for travelers along, I forget which one of the trails it was, but one of the big westward trails went by there, and so it was a landmark and a stopover spot, and somebody climbed up and he got stuck and couldn't get down anyways. And they had to call 911, which I don't know how they did, because there's no phone service at all at Independence Rock. So somebody probably had to go to call 911, I guess. And anyways, they called 911, and they had to do an extrication and use ropes and everything to get this person down off of Independence Rock. So, all right, I shouldn't laugh because they're probably, somebody probably had a traumatic day, but I was, having been there, I'm not sure how you get up there and get stuck up there. But anyway, that's my story about Independence Rock. And we will check out Hell's Half Acre for sure. This is a really funky intersection here, guys. Reminds me of the X in Springfield, Mass, near where I grew up. Oh, Leslie's, I feel like a traitor now, my Sprinter, but the Toyota vans were just too expensive. She's now nearly 12 years old and done 330,000 kilometers. Man, that's impressive. I'll have to do the math on that. I can't do it on top of my head, but my Ford van with the one-ton cargo van, she's up to 275,000 miles now. So I'm not sure how that works out. Oh, there we go. Casper, where wander meets wonder. Oh, that is so perfect for a nomad Yeah, where wonder meets wonder. I love it. All right. So yeah, so the old Ford van I've got is at 275,000 miles. So somebody will have to do the math now if you want. I can't do it on my top of my head, and I'm using my phone to broadcast this because otherwise I would have to bring like the laptop and a camera and all the rest, and that was just too much hassle. So the Joy on the corner of this building by the Oil City Salon. I gotta say, just I'm a country bumpkin, but there's really some interesting architecture around here, and some interesting buildings. So this has been fun cruising around here a little bit.
Definitely. That's the library.
Library in front of us. I'm riding with a fellow book lover, so you know we always notice things like libraries and bookstores. We geek out that way. Interesting architecture on this church too. This is a First United something. I think that's a Methodist
I bet. Yeah.
signal insignia if my memory. Yeah, you think Methodist too? So, yeah, that's pretty cool architecture too. So, whereas the challenge I found trying to photograph churches or anything downtown or any other big buildings is you always go these stoplights and street lights and utility poles, and it's a challenge trying to get a clean view of anything. You have to get a drone up or something, I guess. And there, just across here, anyway, speaking just beyond that stoplight is the Wells Fargo Tower, the Egg Beater Tower. I still think the egg beater thing is a pretty cool. What do you think? What's your opinion?
I was thinking of some space something or some
Like the Space Needle in
antenna
Seattle, or
something.
or
but,
what's
yeah.
that one in Las Vegas? There's another one there. A big like restaurant on top of it. I forget the name of that one. You can see that one from out in Red Rock Canyon, miles away. So yeah, that's gonna look like a Space Needle too, I guess. And so let us know in the comments what y'all think. What we should be, but yeah, we were coming in and we were close to it. We couldn't see. It was like, what is that? It is a pretty interesting building here too, on the corner. It kind of like fits in with the the tower, I guess. Oh, it looks like it might actually be part of the same building. Okay, interesting.
Look at this old car right there.
Oh, look at this old car. That's what Melanie's checking out now. We're gonna sit through another light so you guys can see the old car
No one
and
behind me. You're fine.
the cool building. Oops, I'm showing you the dashboard again. All right, Wandering Sand. Been following you since you were in the Chrysler Town and Country. Enjoy your videos. Well, thank you. That's going back a while. That's several vehicles ago. That was a good van. As far as I know, that's still on the road too. The lady that bought it's in Arizona. As far as I know, she still got it. Leslie's saying country bumpkin here too. Do not like the cities, nor does my van. Long wheelbase, 24 foot, so parking can be an issue. Man, that's yeah, I'm sure that would be a challenge with the parking. My cargo van is right about 19 bumper to bumper, 18 or 19, and it's bad enough in the city. Okay, that's a bank over here apparently. That is wild. Oh man,
Orthopedics,
that's
Clinic, Peak Performance Massage Therapy. Huh. Endowment?
oh, and Timeless Freedom says she knew the builder of the library, Luis Ronstad. That's cool. So there's our tower again. Anyway, so that's the Egg Beater Tower, or the Wells Fargo Tower. I didn't write it down, but there's probably like 3 different banks it's been. And now this is old. I didn't notice this before. Behind the flag here, you see a brick building. It says Hotel Townsend, fireproof.
Fireproof. Imagine having to advertise
That must
your
have been a
hotel as
thing back in the
fireproof.
day.
Yeah,
Right
yeah.
now we just hope that's true. But
Yeah.
a nice brick hotel is fireproof. The old, I hope you can see that old paint on there. Hotel Townsend. Maybe Melanie can stick it out the window and give you a better view. Hopefully it'll show up.
Whoa, sorry. Yeah. That is cool. Get you back in the window. There you go.
She's trying to jet you back in gently, so I'm going to whack the microphone and give you all a headache. All right, Leslie, beautiful area there. Loving those buildings. Yeah, I like. I'm definitely a country person, but you know, this has been interesting seeing some of this architecture in these old buildings and like this cool tower here. We're gonna go ahead and wrap this up. We've been on here for a bit, and we got a couple hour, 2 hour, 2.5 hour drive. Google says we got a 2 hour drive. This is the apartments that call themselves Center Point, which I just have to assume has something to do with that tower. I'm guessing at some point maybe they were this was known as Center Point or something, but I don't know. All right, so guys, thank you for joining. I hope you all enjoyed this tour around Casper, Wyoming, and a little bit of the background of the city, the story. And hold on, let me see if we turn you around here. Here we go. Okay, that's better. So, hope you enjoyed this anyways. I had fun looking around here.
Yeah.
Melanie, hope you had fun.
Absolutely.
Rich was saying thanks for the wonderful tour, Robert and Melanie. So, yeah, she did a good job driving. She kept us safe. Nobody blew the horn at us. That might be the out-of-state plates. They just figured we're a lost cause. I don't know, but nobody blew the horn, and we got around safely. And this was fun. Found our way back to the same place we started. This is amazing. We found the fort. That was cool. So, very cool. Appreciate everybody logging on. Appreciate all you who watched this after the fact. I've been the last one we did was right about the same number of people watched it long term as watch the regular videos, which is impressive for a live stream because a lot of times people don't watch the live streams as much. So appreciate everybody that's joined. Hope you enjoyed this. If there's places you think it'd be cool to see or more things you'd like to see or not see, let us know in the comments. We'll do what we can. We aim to please to the extent we can, but obviously, we got people all over the world watching, all the way from over in New Zealand, Leslie, and and I know there's people in the UK and Canada and all across the U.S. So those are just I know of off the top of my head. Australia sometimes. So we do the best we can, and we'll try and do a mix of daytime like this and evening here in the U.S. where hopefully it works out to where different people will be able to catch stuff and hopefully watch the replay afterwards. If not, don't want to make them too long, but we thought it's fun to show around some different places we go. Again, that's kind of the gist of this. And we're just down in Casper for a dog show. We're watching my daughter and granddaughters compete. So we thought, what the heck? Let's see if we can find if Casper. That was the first question. Does Casper have a historical downtown? It does. We found it. And so let's schedule a live stream. And the thumbnail photo was actually taken at the fairgrounds where we were for the dog show, but it said fair and rodeo. And I said, that encapsulates Wyoming. So let's go for it. So thanks for joining us, everybody.
And next week.
Oh, she forgot. Yes, next week. Thank you, Melanie. She's more on the ball than I am. All right. She has a very difficult job keeping me on track. Melanie, Leslie says your hair is beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
I tell her that all the time, but she doesn't always believe me. But she thinks I have to say it or something. So thank you, Leslie. Yeah. Before I go, next week, we're going to be August 5th. We're going to Sturgis. Now we're not actually camping over. I have camped over there several times alone and with my sons. We're not going over to camp this year. It's in the 90s. It's hot. So I think it might be a little much for Melanie. I'm just guessing there, but we're going over for the day on August 5th, opening day. Anyways, we're going to do a live stream, a live drive from Sturgis on opening day, and we're going to have fun. Awesome bikes, lots of fun stuff. I remember going over there in my Camry on opening day of Sturgis, sitting at a traffic light because it was a red light, right? Harley's beside me, Harley's behind me, Harley's on the other side. My car is literally like shaking, rumbling like this, guys, literally at the red light because of all the Harley motors going. Blah, 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 blah. So we're going over to see the bikes. There are some incredible bikes. Some of these things are six figures. I'm not exaggerating. Really cool bikes. So we're going to go see that on Friday, August 5th. So Friday next week, we're going over there. Should be fun. Depending, who knows, maybe we'll make a decision to go back and camp or something. But for the most part, our big thing is we're just going over just to see stuff. We'll do a live drive anyway. So
Yeah, never been.
if you want to see more than just the live drive over there, leave a comment, let us know so we can do it. Melanie's never been. I've been several times. It's not far from our home base this summer, so to me, you just got to do it. So she's also got a lot of stuff in the Black Hills she's never seen we got to do, and that'll be coming up, but I cannot do a live drive with that because there's no phone service out there. So it's awesome scenery, but no phone service. So that'll have to record separately and share with you guys. Anything else I forgot?
Nope, that was it.
She has a really big job keeping me on track. Thanks for hanging in there with us. Next week, Friday, on August 5th, we'll be doing a live drive from Sturgis, South Dakota for the Sturgis Motorcycle Rally, where, depending on the year, they have 500,000, 700,000 people. A lot of bikes, a lot of people, a lot of fun. So we're going to go. The equivalent, by the way, the best analogy I can give you, Sturgis is like, I think it's 6,000 people year-round. It's only a few thousand people year-round. It's a little town. 1 week, week and a half, 2 weeks in August, the population blows up to hundreds of thousands, literally. It's just like Quartzsite, except for motorcycles instead of RVs. Mostly Harley Davidsons and Indians and that kind of bikes instead of RVs. So same effect, just different. So we're going over and we'll be there. So I'll put up an announcement ahead of time and try and give you a heads up. But sometime on Friday the 5th, look for sometime in the afternoon or in the evening, something like that. We'll be over there. So we'll catch you then. I got more videos. What do we got? About a half dozen videos already recorded and stacked up. I just got to find time to edit. We'll get them up. So we'll try and get one of those up Monday or Tuesday. And then, of course, the live drive in Sturgis on Friday next week. So thanks for joining us. Hope you had fun. We had fun. All right. We'll catch you later, guys. Thanks.